Chances, dreams and goals, many mixed emotions in my heart and soul. For some I made a plan and did the best I can. If God wills, things can happen, after all I'm just a man. Choices, chances, dreams and goals, many mixed emotions in my heart and soul. For some I made a plan and did the best I can. If God wills, things can happen, after all I'm just a man.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to another episode of Life Choices on Huda TV. Today's topic is stress, just deal with it. Now, while some workplace stress can be normal, excessive stress can do you damage to your physical and emotional well-being. So inshallah today's
in the episode we will not talk about stress. We already stressed. Yeah, a lot of people start always with this. Just imagine when you listen to anyone and you start to talk about having a stress, you always find someone sharing you. And this is a good thing in stress, you know, you always have a family sharing you stress. I always find this. Whenever you start to speak about a pain of someone, or it's someone who has some problems, you start to feel like the person in front of you, he went to another world. I started to feel pain inside him, and yeah, I feel him, I understand. In the beginning it started like I'm telling him a story, but after a while I feel like, are you okay? No, Kareem, I was just trying to talk to you. And he started his journey in stress. So I can say stress now is the most popular psychological problem that we ever had. Everywhere, in the workplace, in our normal life, in families, everyone, especially due to the countries, our Arab and Muslim countries situations, everything is pushing you to stress and pushing it to be more and increase between people.
We need to be like flies, transforming the stress signals into stimuli to motivate them. If we can do that.
I think a lot of times, because we're so busy and caught up with life, with work, with school, trying to balance all of these different things all at the same time, we do have some legitimate reasons to be stressed out, but unfortunately sometimes we overthink and we have too much in our head, more than what we have in reality. So this is one reason why you know, we have you know, excessive stress, and that leads to certain you know, problems and even illnesses at times. So it's important for us to not overthink too much. Just do our best, keep moving forward in life, and leave the rest to Allah.
But whenever you say this to anyone, brother, you will always find the same answer, that you want us to be happy, right? Okay, we will be. He's looking to you as an idiot who came from another planet, who talks about being happy all the time and smiling and being you live with us on this earth. Yeah, wallahi, I can be happy. You don't have any problems, financial problems. You don't have any problems. People, they cannot imagine that the problems is not the reason of the stress, and this is one of the stress secrets. Problems is not the reason.
Maybe how you deal with the problem?
Exactly. It's a matter of your capability. You cannot understand the problem itself. And this is the difference between us and between Sahaba and between the golden ages. They always understood that this disaster is a point to be better. It's a point to improve. It's a way to go to a higher level in faith and in dealing with life. But now I can say we are surrendering to this stress, and we cannot understand that with this stress we are going to lose everything. With time you can find that you are ill, as you said, brother, you got divorced from your wife, your children hate you. That all can come out of stress. But we want to differentiate also in the beginning. Not any overloading in your job is a stress. Not any overloading in the family duties means a stress. Overloading means that you are pressured. Doesn't mean that you are stressed. We can say also that long time of pressure can lead to stress. But it doesn't mean, for example, that sometimes it's always obvious in business more than anything else that I have a lot of work and I cannot do it. Especially like me these days, they have a lot of work and they don't
And then
know
they
what to
don't do it, and then it leads to more stress because they didn't get the work done. So you have
And
to take responsibility.
Exactly,
sometimes.
but the early point is not a stress.
yeah.
It's only pressure. You have a lot and you have short time.
Right.
This is not a stress.
Can we agree that stress is a normal fact of life?
I would say
That
so.
we all, I mean, personally, I think
Pressure.
stress, no, I'm talking about stress. I think stress is a fact of life. What we're talking about, what we're trying to focus on is excessive stress. This is when it can be harmful, for your physical well-being, emotional, even spiritual, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Some people might be so overloaded with work that they say, I don't have time to pray. And I've heard this,
Right.
so many times.
I think it's a lack of planning, lack of vision, lack of wanting to accomplish these goals, and everything we discuss right now and previously, they're all interconnected. So a lot of times we tend to discuss certain things, and it brings up previous topics and so forth.
Sure.
So I think coming to the point of the topic of stress, it's important for the person to make sure that he or she does what she needs to do or he needs to do in order to avoid falling into stress. For example, people in university, students, right? Let's be honest. Myself, I've done this. We have a essay, or we have a paper. Yeah, it's good to be upfront, right? We have, for example, I have a paper due. The professor gives it in advance, weeks in advance. But what do we find students do? They cram the the night before. They do an overnighter, as we say. Not sleeping and maybe drinking Red Bull or some serious,
get your energy.
2-3 cups of coffee, trying to stay up and just finishing the paper right there overnight. And we tend to get stressed, and sometimes we're not able to put our 100% into this paper or into this assignment. And as a result, it probably affects our grade. Some people argue, I work better under pressure. I can't do paper 2-3 weeks before. My ideas start coming the night before. So I have to, I need that rush, that force, that pressure,
there's
that stress, so that I can, complete this.
Yeah, but for those who, who do
Sometimes.
cram it in the night before, do the overnighter, as you
Right.
say, what they end up doing is they're overloading themselves with stress that night,
Right.
and also the lead up until the result. They're going to be stressed out waiting
Again,
for their result.
Again,
What
it's
did I get on my
not,
paper?
this part is not a stress. Psychologically, it's pressure to be having this short time with a lot of effort. But the stress which will happen
Right.
before the exam when he realized that he studied nothing.
Oh, that's when he'll be stressed out.
This is the moment of stress. I did nothing.
Right.
What I will do, I will fail. He will start to have all these emotions.
Right.
He will stay for the bathroom for a long time inside the bathroom. I know this. Yeah. After that, he will realize that I'm falling.
Failing, yeah.
Yeah, I'm falling down.
Oh, falling. Okay.
Yeah, I'm falling down. Yeah, I'm losing everything. That's the problem. So that's why we say pressure can lead us to a stress. Why we are trying to differentiate this differentiation? Because people sometimes, when they link situations,
Yeah.
Right.
the same what we talked about in the last week in the self-discipline, when they link situations with meanings and values, they understand the value after that on the same situation. What does it mean? For example, I connected between pressure and panic attack. That I feel like the panic attacked me everywhere, and I have this symptoms of panic attack. Whenever I will feel pressured after that, I put my mind in the system that I will get a panic attack. Why? Because you ordered yourself to have this. So you must always to clarify. Most of the psychological treatment depends on clarifying the meanings and values. You find that most of the people doesn't understand when you are in pain, or it is fear. You are in love, or
Right.
you are just it's only admiration.
Right.
This makes you doesn't understand what to do. Yesterday or maybe 2 days ago, I was talking to one of my friends, and he felt like we were talking about generally about love. So he said, love is always connected to attraction. I said, no. He said, why? I said, being attractive, someone being attractive to you, or he looks attractive to you is totally different from loving him or not. Attractive, you know, it's more materialistic, but love is a meaning in itself. So he said, no, but how I will love somebody who I don't feel attractive to him? Why you? It's love. Love is not connected. So I found that a lot of people don't understand this different meanings. So sometimes they feel pain out of it. And when you analyze it, you find it that he feels pains out of nothing, because it is not true also.
Yeah.
You got it? It is not true. He feels pain out of that he doesn't love me. Well, it is not love. What you are talking about is not love. He feels pain out of fear. Well, it is not fear.
Yeah. Very, very good point.
You got me?
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, we'll go to a brother Abdul Rahim is calling us from the USA, so we'll just go to him.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum, brother Abdul Rahim.
Wa alaikum assalam.
How are you, brother?
Alhamdulillah, everything's alright. How is everything?
Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair for calling in.
It's no problem, no problem.
Tfaddal, brother. What would you like to say today?
Okay, some of the things are, it's like stress management or anything like that, right?
Sorry, brother?
Some of the things that I do to handle like stress issues.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. One thing I know that works for me, whenever I'm stressed out, is to slow things down a little bit. Sometimes I may be moving too fast, I may be doing like too many things at one time. So one thing I know that for me personally, things that I'm going to do, for me to slow things down a little bit, take a breath, whatever I'm doing at that specific moment, I may stop doing it, sit down for a little bit, sit down, put things into perspective, and then normally whenever I do that, things start to calm down, I take a little breather, because we know that hadith, when I can't really put it, exactly, but when if you're stressed out, then if you're standing, then you should sit, and if you're sitting, then you should lay down, because stress, it's amazing how the body works. So if you take and try to change the condition that it's in, your own condition, where you're stressed out, and you try to change it to another condition, then, alhamdulillah, the way the body works, the way I see it, then you change the state that it's in, then it makes everything a little bit easier. You calm things down just a little bit.
Well, do you find that, a lot of the stress that, maybe you face is workplace stress, or, what do you think the most common stress is? Where does it come from?
For me, a lot of stresses can come from a lot of different things. It can be stress from work. Maybe you're working too hard. It can be stress from school. Maybe you're passing, or maybe you're just not getting this exact. Maybe the work is too hard. Maybe you have a lot of things to do in the day. And you don't think that you have enough time to finish it all. So that's the normal one. A lot of, you have a lot of things to do, so you're rushing. You have this to do and that to do. You're moving, 30 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour. You're moving too fast, and you can't get everything done. Stress can come from a lot of things. For me right now, I'm in school. Yeah. Me trying to do, and I'm working. So me having to go to school, then go to work, and then come back and then do my work for the next morning. Sometimes that can be stressful.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So basically, your advice is just to, or how your coping mechanism is just to sit down and slow things down a little bit.
Yeah. I would say, slow things down a little bit. Maybe you're moving too fast. Slow things down. Take a minute or two, take 5 minutes, sit down. Maybe just something to drink. Maybe you're getting too hot. Not hot as temperature-wise.
Yeah.
Hot as you're just getting too hot. You're getting too frustrated. Take 5 minutes, sit down, let your body calm down, relax. And then think about things. Whatnot. Take a little rest, and then get back into whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah, no, very good. Akhi, Jazakallah khair for calling in. We appreciate your call. And I think he's gone, so it brings up, mashallah, a good point.
Beautiful advice given by the brother. It's true, living in post-modern world where everything is just so fast-paced, city life. Now, even village life is not village life anymore. Everything is just so modern and, technologically, and just everyone expects certain things of you, just like how, people in advanced cities tend to be. And this lifestyle sometimes leads us to getting overstressed, and it's important for us to really take that, step back and just, give some time to ourselves. Just breathe, relax a little. Just go out of your daily routine for once and, give your body and your mind, your soul, a time to catch up.
Change the scenery.
Change the scenery,
Yeah.
change the moment, the vibe. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said that the body has a right over you. The body has a right over you. So rest part of the night and pray part of the night. Right? Your stomach has a right over you. So don't starve yourself, but eat food.
Yeah.
Right? So there's this beautiful balance that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ illustrated for us as human beings, that it doesn't mean just work, pray, read. No. There's time for all of that in a nice, dignified, balanced manner where we don't overburden ourselves. So it's important, like the brother was saying, for us to really take that time to relax ourselves and calm down, really. Because we're going to see that maybe we're good for a certain amount of time, and then we burn ourselves out and we can't continue on with the work that we need to get done. Whereas we do things in small portion and not stress ourselves out, but maintain this cycle.
Actually, brother, you got me back to about 5 years ago, or maybe 4 years ago. 4 years ago I was very busy. And this happened to me, and the problem that, like we say in our country, the door of the carpenter are always not prepared,
Yeah.
I prepare, and they're always not ready for this.
That's very true.
So I was busy. I was doing more than one study. I was studying in 2 places at the same time, and I was I used to work about 14 hours, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. maybe 12 hours, sometimes to 10, sometimes 11, sometimes for days. And I was that young enough because I was eager to do something. So I was putting my life in this dynamic life to be in the mood. So I was always running here and running there to do something. And you need to survive, so a lot of coffee would be great to make you come on. To sleep everywhere, so a lot of pains will start to appear on your body, because I sleep whenever there is a chance. So sometimes I sleep on the desk at work, after the working hours, not because nobody told me that. I'm out of the rules. So after a while, I stayed like this for 6 months, and suddenly I got fainted for the first time in my life.
See, what you should have done was taken brother Abdurrahim's advice and sit down
and listen to our program,
And just breathe,
how
yeah.
to release your stress.
Exactly right, and take things a bit slow and change the scenery. Inshallah, we'll keep talking about this very interesting topic on stress right after the break. Assalamu alaikum.
Islamic Jeopardy.
Audience, viewers, are you guys ready for another round of Islamic Jeopardy? All right, let's go ahead and begin.
It's Islamic Jeopardy, the spirit of contributions for the sake of Allah. The exciting yet informative, it is Islamic Jeopardy. Join us on Islamic Jeopardy, the quiz show featuring trivia in fiqh, Aqidah, history, poetry, riddles, science, Arabic, and other topics.
When you love,
the awaited halal fun is finally here.
praise Him every day. Take me to my Lord, Allah. Praise Him every day.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome back to Life Choices. Our episode today is stress, and we're going to take you to a quick report. So just keep watching.
We all hear a lot about stress, but what is it? The dictionary definition of stress is a specific response by the body to a stimulus, such as fear or pain, that disturbs or interferes with the normal physiological equilibrium of an organism. Basically, we all have a happy middle ground, and stress is anything that moves us out of that middle place. So why do we care about stress? Well, businesses have a lot of reasons to care about stress. For one, A recent study shows that 50% of employees are looking for less stressful employment, so stress matters for retention. Stress also accounts for 75% of all visits to the doctor, and a Harvard study showed that stress-related depression is the #1 cause of missed work. Stress also costs big bucks, accounting for a 10% estimated loss in gross domestic product, which adds up to 1.47 trillion with a T dollars. So, if stress is such a big problem, what do we do about it? One thing is to get your mind right, realize the power of irrational thoughts, and try and think like a scientist and leave the emotions aside. The next thing is to be real and make sure you work for an organization that espouses some of the same values that you do. The next is to beware eustress, or good stress. As we talked about before, stress is anything that moves you off of an equilibrium, and happy things, such as getting married, moving, or starting a new job, can be just as stressful as sad things. The next is to get moving. Exercise increases endorphins and lowers anxiety and depression. Tame technology. Being leashed to a BlackBerry or an iPhone creates a sense of constant arousal that always keeps us on guard and is incredibly stressful. And finally, avoid finding comfort in comfort foods, which provide a short-term boost that you pay for later.
That's an interesting point. I like the last bit about the food, comfort food. What do you think?
Yeah, I need to get away from my comfort food and start exercising to create a balance, inshallah. But I liked a lot of points in the video, and one thought that came to my mind was, stress is anything that gets you off of the middle path. And I think in Islam, it's like important that you choose the middle path. And I think the Prophet Muhammad said that, peace be upon him.
It's in the Quran also, وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made this ummah, this nation of ours, a middle ground, a middle path nation, where what we do is never too liberal or never too extreme, rather it's right in between. Everything we do is nice and balanced.
So we can even apply that to everyday things? Everyday life,
and this video, subhanAllah, it's such a nice video. I really enjoyed watching this, and everything was just on point. Especially the food part, the exercising, and I can speak from my own personal experience. Like, if I see that I'm eating healthy, if I'm eating food that is giving me the proper nutrients, right, fiber, protein, is helping my blood flow, my blood level, and all of these things, these all have an effect on our productivity and our stress as well. Sometimes, for example, comfort food, we want to stay up, we want to stay energized, so we feel, like we need this, cup of coffee or this, this glass of soda or whatever the case is, like we need that caffeine to kind of give us that rush. Yeah, maybe it might help us for, a half an hour, 10 minutes, an hour or so, but then we're going to find ourselves again tired and weak. Yeah. So it's important for us to really watch what we're eating. Another thing which helps me and so many other people is working out. And this is something we as Muslims should really take seriously, because the Prophet said that the believer who is strong is more beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than the believer that is weak. And how do we become strong? By staying active, by staying fit, by working out, by exercising.
But also, the end of the hadith, Prophet ﷺ said that in both of them there is good.
نعم في كل خير. نعم. ولكن the preferred is definitely
is to be a strong
exactly
believer.
Why? Because that will help us stay healthy as well, to live longer in this world, inshallah, so that we can do khair and good for ourselves and for humanity at large. So eating healthy, exercising, trying to stay with good company that will help us, avoid stress.
The report also said leaving your BlackBerry.
Leaving your BlackBerry, subhanallah. I have, I have an iPhone, and it's sad. It's sad, but to say the truth, I find myself, just checking my Facebook status, like the news feed and stuff, and checking my text messages and all this stuff, and a lot of times. It prevents us from doing, better stuff, better things, getting our work done.
But brother, I see that the situation is not in having it itself.
No, it's about,
it's about how you
utilize it.
Utilizing it.
And sometimes we overuse it, and that's where it's a problem. Whether it's health-wise or, prevents us from...
Like, have you ever accidentally left your cell phone at home.
Subhanallah.
How
It's
stressed out do you get?
Yeah,
I
you
get stressed out.
You get like, you know,
I feel relaxed. No worries.
Mashallah. I want to be like you. No, like, you feel like you left like a body part home.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
Yeah, some
Like, I
people
can't
say
function.
I'm naked.
My son,
Isn't it true?
I can't go through the day without my cell phone.
Subhanallah.
And not that I use it much.
And that, yeah, it's how the mind
Psychological
works, you
thing,
know,
yeah.
it's psychological. And we need to, like the video was saying, like learn how to, you know, use it as a tool and not just make that our, you know,
I think the
source
thing
of
is also
goodness.
we place, you know, strong emotional attachment to that, you know,
Yeah.
whether it's the phone, whether it's the food,
Yeah.
you know, so we think, you know, food is happiness.
I was
You know,
I was
it's-
just going to say that's very close to what we were talking about from a while before the episode when we were sitting together and we talked about attachment and the attachment. I feel like it is very connected to this. It's a matter how you get attached to the things and you feel pain to leave it.
Yeah.
So it depends on it that you feel stressed when you leave it because you are attached to it. When you are attached to that food, you
Right.
feel like exactly what you said about the cell phone.
Mm.
I feel a part of my body at home
Yeah.
because you are attached to that food.
So attached.
Food started to draw your life. This
Right.
food started to be you.
Right.
While the main cause of this stress is always being away of yourself again. Being in the mood of acceptance is your first rule to be able to deal with the stress. Before it, I want also to say that people must know when they are stressed, because we face a lot of problems, and I will talk somehow into business and that stuff. People, I don't know why they are afraid of us. I mean, psychological counselors and psychologists. It is important to find someone help you.
Right.
It is important because in some cases we face this a lot. People are stressed and they don't want to talk, and they say to themselves, "Oh, it's it's only a work rush," and you find after a while, after a month, it's a work rush. After a year, work rush.
So not wanting to take,
You are dying, brother.
not wanting to take responsibility, you know.
It takes a
Just making
great
excuses.
toll on your health, your life, your thought process, your interaction with your wife, with your kids,
Yeah.
and your friends.
And they are connecting it with everything. They are connecting it that I have a pressure at work, so I must be stressed. I have a problem at my house, so I must be stressed.
Yeah.
You have to understand, brother and sister, you can have all the problems on earth and you can be normal. It's not depending on each other.
A real life example, my mother, she's just like the example that you're giving. She's like always stressing on helping other people, feeding the poor people. She always wants to do things good for Allah. But she doesn't focus on herself and she becomes tired, she can't, sleep well.
Yeah.
So many problems, So
On the topic of sleep, it's very important.
course.
She's doing a lot of good, but again,
course.
she's overlooking herself.
Exactly.
And this is something we need to keep in mind also. Sleep is very important. Medically proven, obviously. If our body doesn't have like 6 to 8 hours of rest, it won't be able to function to its full potential the following day.
On that as well with sleep, I mean, we were talking earlier how, we're a just ummah,
exactly.
ummah on the middle path. With sleep, you also got to take the middle approach. I mean, too much sleep. Personally, if I sleep too much, I get headaches and,
anything excessive, whether it's excessively less or excessively more, is harmful to us. So too much sleeping is bad for us, and too less sleeping is not good for us.
So this all comes back to choosing the middle path. And
Exactly.
staying on the
It's
middle
like
path.
for example, water. One of the scholars I remember, subhanAllah, beautiful analogy of blessings. For example, water. Is it good or bad?
It's good, of course.
It's good and it's bad. How is it good and bad? It's water. If you have less water, it's not good. But if you have too much water, then it's bad. Yeah. If it's too much water, it's flood. There's hurricane rains. It's not good. But if you have less water, it's drought, famine. So we need
just enough.
The enough. The enough amount. The right amount.
So we can have enough stress, not more much.
You got to face it. I mean, stress is part of everyday life.
Perhaps some stress is good in a sense that it will help us push ourselves. For example, let me give you an example, and this kind of relates to what we were talking about in the previous episode of self-discipline.
Yeah.
When I was studying Quran, memorizing Quran back in my early teens and middle teen, basically my days in high school, and I had a friend with me a good, very close friend of mine. We used to memorize Quran together to the same teacher. So, and this is something recommended for those who want to memorize Quran or do something so great. When you have a teacher, for example, it's hard to memorize Quran without a teacher, but if you have a teacher, it helps so much. How? For example, tomorrow is my lesson with the Sheikh, with the Imam. I have to go say my homework, this page to him. But right now I'm a little lax, laid back. It's okay. But come tomorrow, wait, what am I going to say to the Sheikh? I didn't memorize anything. So that's when you get your act together and you start reviewing and you memorize till you're ready. That's stress, that's positive stress.
Do you think that this is a stress or responsibility?
Responsibility, definitely, but you also feel stressed, or if you want to say pressured.
Sometimes responsibility can lead us to stress, but this is not right. Why? Because this is the part that you talked about from a while, being balanced. To be balanced, you must have the responsibility without freaking out. Actually, stress, the most, what we can say, the most problem inside the stress, that one of its symptoms that you lose the control.
Right.
So as long as you went and you memorized, so you are not stressed, you are pressured. You got why we differentiated in the beginning? You are, pressure can push you.
It's true, and if I found, like, if I was ever stressed, I would feel that I'm not able to memorize.
Yeah.
Because I just have so much, and then I end up giving up.
Exactly. And this happened also, I started to remember those days, actually, when I was in the faculty, and I have a subject that I didn't study. And I'm in front of or I found a question that I didn't know about it, and I'm in front of the exam room. This kind of a stress is really stupid, because you feel like you forgot what you memorized, and you go inside, you feel like blanked. This moment of blanked, I don't remember anything.
Blank out, you don't remember a single thing.
Just because you got a shock from this question that you didn't know. You feel like, I forgot everything. So stress can lead you to being out of control. You lost the control of your mind. You lose the control of your body. You feel sometimes shiver. You can feel dry out of a stress. You can feel, definitely psychologically, it leads to very pure hard depression. To be frank on that part.
Right.
And depression is a very people, I don't know why sometimes they talk about depression like it's a snack, only he has some depression. Depression is a very hard thing that you must focus and deal with it.
Right.
So why you have always this corrective action? Why you have always the stress, and you search to how to solve it? You always search for the depression, or you wait till you have depression, then you search for the how to deal with it.
Right.
Just have your preventive action. You have to do things in life not to get stressed.
As they say, prevention is better than cure.
Yeah, definitely. Why you are letting everything happen, then you search for the solutions. Now we are realizing, and we are speaking again and again, once you have symptoms, you must search for help. Not only this, you have to start to deal with yourself. I have a stress. Don't say that it will go with itself.
I believe it's important. Are we going to go on a break right now?
No.
I believe it's important for us to also, when we are dealing with life, not to overburden ourselves, not to overload our plate. Not to bring in more, responsibilities, more than what we can bear. Because sometimes we are responsible for we're responsible for our decisions. And the calamities we face in our lives are due to our decisions, as mentioned in the Quran, that whatever musibah or difficulty or hardship we go through in life is because we reaped it with our own two hands. So it's important for us to not overload ourselves and overburden ourselves, but to do everything in a practical, realistic way, so that we're not burned out.
So we can understand from what you said also a very good point, that eagerness, if it is not controlled, it would lead you to pressure, which leads you to stress.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, Paula, it's a very interesting topic today we've brought up with stress. Inshallah, we'll have more for you right after the break, so don't go anywhere.
about the Quran and the modern world.
The religion that is acceptable to Almighty Creator is Islam.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
The more you know about him, the more you realize how you want to be like him.
For every messenger, a prophet that Allah has sent, Allah gave him one dua.
Allah sent prophets after prophet, messenger after messenger to remind everyone, don't deny the Creator.
La ilaha illallah.
Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'een. Thee alone we worship, and Thee alone we seek help.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
Never on this planet walked such a person as Muhammad sallallahu alaihi
Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to Life Choices. Today's episode, stress, just deal with it. Brother Karim, you were speaking before the break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That stress is always there, but you have to understand that some good stuff can lead you to stress if it went out of control. We were talking about eagerness. Eagerness, when you lose the control on your eagerness, you will be pressured. When you are pressured, you are ready to have a stress. When you have another thing, what we can say about...
sort of like when you have expectations of something to go perfect.
This is very important.
Things change. You have to be flexible.
It leads to stress directly.
Right.
This is very clever from you. When you expect, you always didn't find exactly what you expect. Because people always trying to find what they want. They don't understand that God gives you what you need, not what you want.
It's true.
Realizing this point can change the life of societies.
Right.
You can have everything you need. I will make you remember something that happened outside. You remember when we were in the car and we talked about missing? When you said, I missed it, I told you, so it was not for you.
Right.
It's the same concept. You still remember?
What did you miss?
I wanted to go to listen to one of the sheikhs to give khutbah, but we were on our way here. We had to catch our time here, so I was telling Brother Kareem that, man, I missed it. I really wanted to go, listen to the khutbah. I missed it. So he's like, no, you didn't miss it. I was like, wait, what do you mean I didn't miss it? I'm not there. I missed it. Did I get it? What do you mean? So he's like, listen, if it was meant for you, then you would definitely have gotten it. But it wasn't meant for you, so therefore you didn't miss it. Why? Because it's recorded. You're going to listen to it. You're going to hear about it. So either way, it's going to come back to you. So you didn't miss it. It was just not meant for you. So it made me think, and I was like, subhanAllah. And I remember I used the same exact, word, the same exact advice that you gave me, the same point, when I was talking to my wife about an issue that we were trying to, resolve. We're trying to make a decision. So I used this, this point, and she was like, wow, mashallah, it's true. And she thought about it, and it's, subhanAllah.
And you said in the beginning, I still remember, that he thought that it would not be recorded in the beginning. He said, I miss it totally. I told him, if it is for you, it will come.
And then subhanAllah, just to add to that, and then after Jum'ah, then we got back in the car, and the Shaykh was still speaking. And his khutbah was being aired, still live. He still didn't finish with his khutbah.
Which khutbah was this?
Sheikh Muhammad Arifi in Masjid Amrullah.
SubhanAllah, yeah.
So I really wanted to go, but we had to come here, and then we prayed Jummah. We were finished and everything. We came, we got back in the car, and we were listening to it live. Remember?
That's right, because our khutbah finished, and we got in the car, and it was still
so I didn't miss it. You know what I mean? Technically, he was right.
Yeah, just realize this. You will never, believe me, everyone, you will never miss anything. Nothing called missing. Missing, it means something yours and you miss it. If it is yours, you will have it, because you have the guarantee of God. Why you doubt? And this is what leads you to stress, because you feel like, oh, it was mine, and I lost it. Liar! If it was yours, you will never lose it. Who said
So
this?
it's not yours. So
That's
you
right,
can
it's qadrullah, yani.
Yeah, because your rizq is not in the earth.
Right, everything is predestined,
وَفِي السَّمَاءِ
recorded.
رِزْقُكُمْ
Mm.
وَمَا تُوعَدُونَ. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
This is the verse, correct me.
Exactly.
So if it is yours, so God is securing it for you. That's why it is in the sky. So not in the earth.
I think this is. Go ahead, brother.
No, so it's everything you're going to receive. You're going to, like, if it's written down for you, you're going to get it. If it's not, you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
And in the end, it's all for the best anyway.
There's so many, ahadith and ayat in the Quran that talk about this issue and this topic. And if we just take some time to really think about it and digest these beautiful teachings, I think our life will be so much, beautiful and so less stressful.
Yeah.
Everything in the Quran is, subhanallah, just a prescription for our life, how to live our lives, in a joyful, nice, comfortable way.
Yeah, we don't
away
have
from
to
stress.
be sad by the word of
Exactly.
Quran. We don't have the permission.
وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا. It's an order from Allah
Exactly.
subhanahu wa ta'ala
It's
not
an
to worry,
order.
not to be stressed, not to be sad.
Yeah.
And it's important because, we human beings are always going to have moments up and down.
And remember, on the other verse,
Yeah.
I don't remember the verse, so please help me. قل فبفضل الله فبذلك فليفرحوا.
قُلْ بِفَضْلِ اللَّهِ وَبِرَحْمَتِهِ فَبِذَلِكَ فَلْيَفْرَحُوا.
Exactly. So see, when you want to look to this verse, please get both verses and look at them. Don't be sad here and be happy with the gifts and with what God gives you here. So this is the description of your emotions.
Sorry.
So going to the sadness, it means that you are going out of the path. Going to happiness, it means that you are inside the path. Because some people think that we are always sad, that Muslim must be sad. Why? Yeah, it feels like, why you are happy? Life is short. Yeah, really? I'm happy because I'm Muslim.
Sure.
It doesn't make you happy?
And these people need to be reminded that, we find that, Sahaba, they used to say that, we never saw the Prophet ﷺ in a state other than smiling. He was, always smiling. He was always cheerful. Yeah. The little kids, they used to love going to the masjid of the Prophet ﷺ. Why? Because he would reach out to them. He would shake their hands. He would smile at them. He would ask them about their lives and how are things going.
Yeah, true.
To the point where every salah, they felt like going. They were so eager, like you said. They were so passionate about going there because they knew who? Muhammad ﷺ was going to ask them how they are, was going to smile at them, was going to straighten them out when they are standing in line for prayer.
Yeah.
So these are all tools to battle stress.
Clarifying that also, why we talked about happiness, because without happiness, you don't have the passion to come out of the stress. Because the first thing people must know, you will never leave the stress except when you have the real passion to leave it.
Yeah, you need a motivating factor.
Yeah.
Something to motivate you to want to leave the stress.
You need something target to go to. If you have no target, so go anywhere. So that's the same example of I said that story before. If my memory didn't do it with me as always, this fish memory, that the guy who went to one of the wisdom people and asked him for happiness, and he got him a bowl and he put his milk. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Remember? Then he went outside. He said, "What the word that the wise person said to him? If you want, you must want happiness the same way you wanted your life while you was in the bowl." This is the passion. This is the real passion. So, if you are talking about passion to come out of a stress, then tell me, okay, I'll stay alone. And you will find him get all the sad documents that help him. Maybe if he likes poetry, he get some sad poetry.
Right.
And started, losing life. This is me exactly. Alone. Dying. You are getting out of stress like this.
You know what I think? I mean, it sounds weird, but stress is good because if you don't know what it's like to be stressed and have those feelings or being upset, you're not going to know what being happy is like.
Exactly.
You need that opposite.
Definitely.
Yeah, you need to understand its existence. Like, we don't have to try everything, guys. We have to know only about it. Because, for example, we can say that we have to know drugs to get out of it. But at the same time,
I'm talking about more about emotions and feelings. You know what I mean? to know happiness, you need to know sadness, you know, to know...
Yeah, this is, I agree on it.
To know something, we need to see its opposite.
Or to appreciate it.
To appreciate it, yeah.
Yeah, so we can say from what you said, a very important also rule in psychology.
No.
To relieve stress, you have to accept it.
Sure.
To accept that you are stressed. Because as long as you are saying, I'm not stressed, okay, let's look at you, you know.
Very stressed.
I felt like this, yeah, you felt scary, yeah?
No, just a little bit.
But actually I found, especially in business, guys, I go over to the work and I find one of the manager, he's telling me that I'm angry. Well, I'm not. Yeah, you are not. You are very good. You are okay. He doesn't want to accept his anger.
Right.
Accept it, to be able to realize it, to be able to release it. And this is life. When you see your problem and accept it, you will be able to pass it. The same like patient. Imagine that if the patient who needs pills or needs operation, he doesn't believe that he is patient. What he will face?
Right.
Maybe he will die.
Right.
You need operation. This is the solution. No, I'm not. Okay, you will die.
Right.
The same in everything. Realize you're stressed by accepting that you are stressed, and start deal with it inside.
Right.
We are supporting you with changing the factors outside. It is good, but everything change starts within. This is the main rule of self-development that we talked about in the first episodes.
I think as Muslims, subhanAllah, we have such a great gift from God, from Allah, in tackling the waves and the currents of life, how to swim through these currents, and how to use the Quranic method and remedy to help us battle through these huge waves sometimes that seem unbearable. It's important to realize, if we look in the life of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we see that in the morning he used to have a set of du'as and adhkar that he used to say to Allah, asking for help, asking Him for protection from many illnesses, both spiritual, material, physical, right? In the evening he used to say similar du'as and other du'as as well. And if we look at a very well-known du'a, he used to make du'a against laziness, he used to make du'a against huzn, against sadness, and you can say that also against stress, against all of these spiritual illnesses, these physical illnesses as well.
Things that lead to stress.
Exactly. These factors which lead a person to being stressful. So it's important for us as Muslims to not forget our adhkar, to make dua. And this is something so simple, and a lot of times we overlook and we don't take it seriously. But it has such a huge impact on our day, on our daily lives. If we, after Fajr, take some time, just a couple of minutes, just to make certain du'as, asking Allah to protect us from stress, from anxiety, from being worried and over-concerned about things.
SubhanAllah, one of the most common themes that always get brought up into our episode is the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So true success can only come with following the prophetic guidance, the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Brothers, it's that time again when we have to end the episode. Inshallah, we'll be back next week for more.
I thought we are in the beginning.
We're towards the end now. Jazakallah khair, brothers, and Jazakallah khair for watching. This is Life Choices. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Chances, dreams and goals, many mixed emotions in my heart and soul. For some I made a plan and did the best I can. If God wills, things can happen. After all, I'm just a man. Choices, chances, dreams and goals, many mixed emotions in my heart and soul. For some I made a plan and did the best I can. If God wills, things can happen. After all, I'm just a man.